Hello friends, happy day. My name is Grace Millsap. I use she, her pronouns, and we are here to flow. So this particular practice may be a little more challenging for some folks. It may be considered vigorous if we were giving it a level or another adjective. And you can totally adjust, modify. I have two blocks that I'll be using. You can grab something similar or a little different. You may also enjoy a blanket under your knees if you have some knee stuff. And as we move through this practice, I invite you to take exactly what it is you need. And maybe it'll be exactly what it is I offer, or maybe it'll be something a little different. But know that you are in charge, and more importantly, your worth, your value is in no way attached to your ability to take these shapes, these breaths, or anything else I may ask you to do today, knowing that you are whole enough just as you are. So let's start this practice by lying down on our backs. And right here from the beginning, there's permission to take up space just as you need to. Does that mean your arms and legs stretch wide like a star? And maybe they bend in towards one another, knees can fall towards the center. And as you settle in, you can roll your wrists and ankles, head and neck around, finding more ease in this moment. And take a big breath in, and a big breath out. Twice more, breathing in, send it out. One more, inhale. Exhale. And if your eyes are still open, you can scan your surroundings, letting yourself notice the side walls, ceiling. As you feel safe, you can close your eyes or perhaps turn them down softly. Take an internal scan of your body from head to heel, noticing how you feel physically. Becoming aware of sensations in your bones, muscles, tendons, skin. Check out your breath, observing your current state of inhale and exhale. There's nothing to change or fix. Your breath is what it is. Take a peek inside your head and notice whatever's rolling or scrolling through your mind. And then come right back to breath, just like that. Now find a deeper experience of your breath, whatever that means to you. Perhaps slowing it down, perhaps softening it. Maybe simply listening in for the soft, subtle sound of your breath. Keep this deep, deep listening in to your breath as you bend your knees and slide your feet flat to the floor. And place both hands down next to your hips, drumming your fingertips and toe tips into the floor. And starting to move with our breath, inhale, stretch your fingertips to the ceiling. Continue to reach and stretch until you touch the floor behind you. And then exhale, sweep your fingertips up towards the ceiling and drop them down next to your hips. few more just this way. Inhaling, perhaps a little longer, stretching behind your heart to touch the floor. And exhale, belly draws in towards spine as you lower. One more, breathe in, perhaps stretching a little more behind the heart, giving yourself more time to breathe in. And sweeping exhale, belly draws in towards the floor, hands drop down. Hug your right knee in towards your chest and give it a squeeze. Roll your right foot or ankle around one direction and the other. Slide your hands under your right leg, clasping your fingertips. And we'll bend and straighten our entire right leg, creating length in the back of the hamstrings, flexion of the right foot. And then softness and ease as we drop our right heel back down towards our glutes. A few more rounds on the right side, flexing and lifting, and lowering. One more, keep our right foot here. Release your hands out towards the side, turning the palms down. And now spread your fingers wide. And flex your right heel a little more, pushing the ceiling away. Pay attention to your low belly and draw it in tight towards your spine, supporting your low to mid-back. Lengthen the right hamstrings, flex through your right heel a little more. Nice, now interlace your hands behind your head, lifting your shoulder blades, maybe just an inch off the ground. But now keep flexing to the right heel as you slowly lower it towards the floor. Eyes remain to your toes, slowly lower, perhaps lifting your head a little higher to see the foot touch, and then hover. Flex through your right heel, lift your shoulders, stretch your elbows. And then hug in. No our hands to knees and rock side to side. And switching sides, hug your left knee, release your right. So you can bend or extend your right leg. Roll your left foot or ankle around one direction and the other. And sliding our hands under our left knee. Bend and straighten our entire left leg. Permission to notice how this one pulls and tugs just a little bit differently than the first side. Flex and extend your left leg straight up towards the sky. Release your hands out wide towards the side, palms down. Flex your left foot, push the ceiling away, hug low belly in to support your lumbar spine. Interlace your fingertips behind your head, lift your shoulder blades off your mat. Flex through your left heel as you slowly lower it down, squeezing through your left quad. Keep your eyes on your left big toe, maybe beginning to lift your shoulders a little higher, watching the left heel touch. And then lift and hover. Re-engage through your left heel, left hamstrings, left quad. And release, hugging everything in. Take your rocks forward and back, slowly gaining momentum. Eventually rocking up into a tabletop shape, and you can face whichever direction you choose. I'll face towards my blocks, make it easy. And then once you get here, set yourself up, wrists under shoulders, knees under hips, spreading your thumb and pinky wide apart. You take some few intuitive movements. It can look like cat and cow. Or maybe you wag your tail side to side, or do some other swivels and wiggles of your hips and heart. A few more rounds of breath, permission to get a little wilder, freer in your movements. Downward facing dog, tuck your toes, lift your hips. Taking some moments and movements here, walking it out. Shifting weight, forward, back, side to side. Just noticing how strong you are to be in this shape. And then take a pause here. Softening through your kneecaps, releasing the crown of your head towards the floor and breathing into the backs of your lungs. puffing up your back ribs with your breath. Forward fold. And depending on your space, you can have in front, back, middle of the mat. You can walk your feet, you can hop them, crawl them. Place your pinky toes on the outside edges of the mat, giving your hips and thighs lots of space. And you can either ragdoll your arm, grabbing your opposite elbows. You can let them dangle free. I've been enjoying creating a little place for my forearms here, and then dropping my head down in between the blocks. Bend your knees a lot, relax to the back of your head and neck, and then maybe you can find some movement and sway. Relax to the backs of your legs, shoulder blades. And release any binds, drawing your feet a little closer to touch. Keep some space between the big toes. And then breathe in, slide up, halfway lift. Breathe out, fold. Breathe in, rise all the way to standing. You can stretch up and look up. Breathe in, drop your hands by your side. Give yourself a little happy day dance. Wiggle and shimmy yourself, standing to the top of the mat. Touching your hands in the center of your heart, or maybe heart and belly, standing up even taller. Eyes closed or turned down softly, breathe big. Feeling the expansiveness in your lungs, lift in your heart with each big breath that we're so freely given. Moving with this breath, inhale, stretch both arms to the sky, look up towards your thumbs. Exhale, fold forward like a waterfall of honey, melt down. Halfway lift, and send your right foot to the back of the mat, finding a lunge on your left side. And take a moment to settle in here, hands to the floor or blocks. Feel some strength in your left hip as you draw it powerfully backwards. And now flex through your right foot and lift the back of your right knee higher to the sky. Press through your palms, push the back of your heart up towards the ceiling, breathe in. Breathe out, high plank, step your left foot back to meet your right. And take time to settle in here. That may look like rocking forward, back, side to side, or perhaps dropping down to your knees. And take one more full breath here, establishing strength from head to heel. Exhale, staying right here. And then drop down to your knees, child's pose, hips to heels, heart to floor. Take some breaths here, settling your hips in towards your heels. Maybe a little shimmy of your shoulders, or another way, release your heart and forehead down towards the ground. We'll come to lie on our bellies, so spread your hands wide, forearms to the ground, and keep your heart low as you roll your belly down. And we'll come up into a Sphinx pose. And if this wants to look more like Cobra, you can draw your hands back a little closer to your shoulders. And pressing the tops of the feet down, playing with this belly down back bend. You can see what's happening, perhaps looking over one shoulder and then the other. Good, one more inhale. And exhale, drop your chest to the floor. Downward facing dog, tuck your toes and lift your hips. Take any adjustments, it's spreading your hands wide, taking big breaths in here, noticing how strong you are in this shape. Drop on down to child's through tabletop. Breath to settle. You come forward, high plank. Tuck your toes, stretch the backs of your legs, pressing into the fingertips. Long, strong spine, drawing low belly in. Now flex and lift your right foot off the mat. Try to keep your hips nice and steady. Notice if they want to lift or sink down, and hold steady right in the center. Good, now lift your right heel a little higher, hold the hips steady, and then draw the right knee in towards your chest. Runner's lunge, top of the mat. And blocks will give you a little more space to step. You have short arms and a long torso or long legs that can help. Drawing your right hip back, extending your head forward, squeezing the left quad, breathe in. Breathe out, fold forward, top of your mat. Lift halfway, fold. Inhale, rise, standing stretch up. Exhale, fold forward once more. Lift halfway. And send your left foot back, runner's lunge on the right side. Settle in here, right hip back, heart forward. Pressing through the palms, draw low belly in, extend your neck forward, breathe in. Breathe out, high plank, right foot steps back to meet left. Take a few breaths, just as you need them. Allowing the shape to reveal its secrets to you by holding steady and strong. Child's pose, coming through table, sink your hips to your heels, heart melts to the floor. Finding our way into cobra pose, dropping our belly to the floor, perhaps lifting the heart a little higher. Pause for a moment. Downward facing dog. Pause and breathe. Child's pose. High plank. Steady yourself. And then lift your left foot. Notice the tendencies of your hips to lift or lower, and then try and hover right to center. Strengthen through the right quad and lift your left heel. Runner's lunge, left foot steps forward, using what you got to bring your left foot to the top of the mat. Strengthen here, left hip back, heart gaze forward, breathe in. Breathe out, fold forward, right foot to the top of the mat. Lift halfway, fold. Inhale, rise to standing, stretch up. Exhale, fold forward. And meeting in downward facing dog. You can step, you can flow, the choice is yours. And there's many different ways to flow, moving with breath. All right, so let's breathe in and stretch our right foot high to the sky. And roll your right foot or ankle around one direction, then the other. And send your left heel down to the floor. Stretch your right toes higher to the sky. And then draw yourself forward, not quite cheetah, right shin hovers right about center mat. And then roll to the right hand, dropping the right shin down, stretch the left arm, modified side plank. But now keep the lift in your heart, left fingertips, and take big circles with your left arm. Moving 360 degrees, left shoulder and socket. And then take it the other direction, big wide circles. Good, now stretch your left arm up. Press down through your right hand and see if you can lift your left foot. Keep lifting your left hand, whether or not your left foot is lifted. Look up towards your left fingertips. Good, and roll on over, high plank. Long, strong back line of your body. Downward facing dog, stretch your hips high. Left side, stretch your left foot to the ceiling. Roll your left foot or ankle around one direction, then the other. And take that halfway cheetah, drawing your left shin about halfway up your mat. Then spinning to the left foot, left hand, left shin to the ground, lift your right hand to the sky. Then keep the space across your chest, stretching your right arm up. Circle your right arm, shoulder and socket. And moving the other direction. Nice, now stretch your right hand up, look up. See if you can stretch your right foot up and back, sending your hips forward, letting you stretch happen across the top of your body. Reach up, lean back. High plank, roll on over, stretch and strengthen to the backs of your legs. Downward facing dog. Breathe in, breathe out. Lift your right leg to the sky. And then drop down to your left forearm. And see if you can lift your right heel just a little higher, maybe even bending your right knee so your right heel drops towards your glutes. You can stretch your right arm more forward, take your gaze under your right elbow, stretch your right kneecap higher. Breathe in, breathe out, downward facing dog. Switch sides, stretch your left foot high, and drop your right forearm to the floor. And if your left hand wants to creep a little more forward, feeling more stability here, then now lift your left heel higher, perhaps bending your left knee heel towards glute, and you can look under your left armpit. Stretching back up, downward facing dog. Breathe in, breathe out. Lift your right foot to the sky, long, slow step through, cheetah if you want to call it that. Crescent lunge, rising up. Maybe shaking your arms a little bit, releasing through your shoulders. Then we'll move here, so breathe in, stretch up, reach up. Breathe out, bend your elbows, bend your knee, elbows to the back of your neck, elbows high. Good, again, inhale, stretch up, straighten through your legs. Exhale, re-bend your knee, elbows lift to the sky. One more, inhale up. Exhale, back down. Nice, crescent lunge, stretch the back of your left leg towards the ceiling. And then drop your right hand down towards the ground. Using the weight of your right hand to stretch and lean, and of course you can drop your left knee down for a little more stability. Keep reaching, stretching, leaning, perhaps looking up. Rising up, crescent lunge, downward facing dog. So you're in charge. If you find a little flow, high to low, tabletop child, arriving in down dog, just as you are supposed to, right on time. Stretch your left foot to the sky. Long, slow step through, crescent lunge, left side. Stretching your fingertips up towards the ceiling. And taking this flow, inhale, lift everything. Exhale, rebend, bend your elbows onto your neck. Good, again, inhale, stretching up. Exhale, rebending, little extra lift in your heart space. One more, breathe in. Breathe out. Keep your hips, stretch your fingertips high, and drop your left hand down towards the ground. And it's not trying to touch the floor, but more create a little extra weight. A little extra stretch to the right side, gazing down to the left hand or up towards your right. Crescent lunge, stretch up, lift up. Fold forward, top of your mat, right foot meets left. Take the halfway lift. And fold. Inhale, stretch up, reach up, maybe a slight back bend. Exhale, fold forward. Lift halfway. Downward facing dog. Arrive as you need to. Shifting our weight forward, high plank. And we'll find side plank, lifting the left arm. So you can drop your right knee down and kickstand it behind you, or simply roll over to the outer blade of your right foot as you lift your left arm, stacking your left foot. Flex through both your feet if you took the double feet back version. And stretching your left arm up. Maybe your left foot lifts. Maybe it comes behind you for a wild thing. Stretching your right toes towards the floor, lifting your hip points high to the sky. And then rolling back over, high plank. Child's pose. And your knees can stay wide, or your shins may become a little more parallel as you melt your hips and heart down, down, down to the ground. Take a full breath in, full breath out. Coming back forward, high plank. Re-establish strength, stretching through the backs of your legs. Side plank, rolling over to the left side, option to drop the left knee, or roll to both feet. I'm still working through some wrist strengthening to the side is safer modified for me. You keep stretching up through your right hip, perhaps lifting your right hip just a little higher. Nice, and rolling on over, high plank. Just kidding, let's come back. And roll over into Wild Thing. So this can be done if you took a modified by simply extending your left foot out, sending the right heel to the ground, and pushing your hips and heart up towards the sky. Keep stretching the tops of the hips. And now rolling over high plank for real. And dropping down through table, child. And this time we have an option to thread our right arm under our left for a shoulder stretch. Spoiler, this is our break. So permission to take the next 10 or so breaths just as you need them. Staying in child. If child isn't comfortable for you, permission to take any other shape that is. These next 7 or so breaths are for restoration, for reset. And they're just for you. Coming back to the sound of your breath. And the opportunity and possibility contained within each breath are so freely given. Maybe the next few moments to make our way back into a downward facing dog shape. And making our way back to a standing at the top of the mat shape, however that looks for you. Tapping back into the resource of your breath. Next breath in, stretch both arms up to the sky. And exhale down into chair pose, hips low. Good, again, inhale, stand up, reach up, stretch through the tops of your hips. And exhale, draw belly into spine as you sink just a little lower. Do that again, breath in, stretch up, reach up. Breath out, chair pose. And we'll stay here, but we'll flow. So inhale, lift your fingertips, keep the legs bent. Exhale, skier, drop your belly and thighs, send your hands back. Again, inhale, chair pose, hips are just as low. Exhale, skier, option to lift your heels. 2 more rounds, breathe in, keep the length in your side bodies. Breathe out, lift your heart. Last round, in and out. Good, now stay here. Turn the palms down, lift your heels higher. Lift your heart higher. Good, now keep your heels lifted, stretch your fingertips to the sky and drop your sitting bones towards your heels. Stretch and reach forward with your hands, drop your heels, sitting bones, boat pose. You can always grab the backs of your knees to give you a little support, lifting your heart higher, or hands can come to prayer. Keep lifting up. Now the fun part, we're gonna roll back, whee, and then stand back up into chair. This may take a few humbling rounds of rocking back, and you may be like, F this, I'm just gonna stand up and find my way in the chair. And however you end up in this chair pose right now is perfect. Breathe in, whoa, and breathe out, fold forward, relax your head and neck. Lift halfway, downward facing dog. Find your way into this shape. And turn your right foot to the sky, 3 points. Bend your knees, stack your hips, and you can drop your left forearm to the ground if that felt good. Keep lifting your right knee higher. And stretching the right foot to the sky, back into flip dog, or maybe you're a wild thing. Sending the hip points, heart point to the sky, stretching through the heart. And then rolling back over, 3 point. And then draw your knees straight through center, cheetah. Pausing here, pressing the palms, hugging the knee closer to the chest, sending your heart and shoulder blades more towards the front. Nice, now plant your foot with a purpose. And then roll on over Skandasana, deep side bending lunge, left toes peel up. Hands can stay down, work to heart center. Maybe they come out wide for a little jazz hands, or there's also a bind available here. Lift your heart, keep the length in your side bodies no matter where you are. Nice, and then opening back up. And rotate yourself around until we come into a warrior three. And it can be grounded, or we can work the balance. Hands to heart center, extended back, or overhead. Stork pose, swing your left kneecap up and through. Stretch your fingertips high to the sky. Flex and lift through both feet a little higher. Eagle, Garlandasana. Cross your left thigh over your right, squeezing in tight. Left arm drops under your right elbow. Maybe you stay here with a big bear hug. Breathing into your backs of your lungs. Or maybe you go for the half or double eagle bind. Your shoulders will let you know if it's working. Sink your hips lower, lift your elbows higher. Breathe. Good, and come on out, stork pose, stretch and lift up. And send it back through our warrior three. Crescent lunge, stretch the left foot back, lift your heart. Downward facing dog. Flow or arrive just as you need to. And taking the time, big breaths that you need to support and sustain yourself through this transition. And the good news is we get to do this on the other side. So take some clearing breaths, releasing expectations. And when ready, we'll stretch our left foot to the sky, perhaps dropping down to our right forearm. Continue to reach and stretch across the left hip flexors as you drop your left heel closer to the right side. And then stretching up, coming into flip dog or wild thing. You're still holding strong wherever you are with your left leg lifted. Coming back into our three-point left leg high. Long, slow step through, pausing in cheetah, pressing through the palms, curling the back of our heart up. Skandasana, plant the foot with purpose, and then roll on over. Maybe you want to keep this right foot down, or maybe you keep lifting. Hands to heart, extended wide, or maybe a bind is available on this side. But notice if you're scrunching, and then find a way to lift a little through your heart. Grounded warrior three, rotate our weight forward, flex and lift the right heel. Playing with balance. Stork pose, swing the right kneecap straight up. Flexing, lifting through both feet. Eagle. Cross your right thigh over right arm, under bear hug, half or double eagle. And sinking down low, left leg is like chair pose. Breathe and lift your elbows higher. Untwist stork pose. Finding our way into crescent lunge, a little step over in our warrior three. Stretch and reach your arms high to the sky, breathe in. And downward facing dog. Step or flow. Take your big breaths here. And float it forward, high plank. And roll over side plank, right hand to the ground, left arm to the sky. And you can play with lifting your left leg, stepping it in front like a front supported side plank. You can send it back, coming back into a wild thing. You're a little playful here, keeping a space across your chest. But now everyone bend your left knee and reach your left hand for your left knee. And pull your left knee across your chest, stepping it to the top of the mat, rounded warrior three, float your right foot up. Squeeze your hips, lift your heart, stork pose, rising up to standing. Take this to a twist, hands to heart, grabbing the right knee, looking back. Untwist, stretch up, revolve side angle, right hand to the floor, left arm to the sky. Good, now look down at your right hand, and we'll end up in side plank. So you can drop your right knee down, shoot your left foot back for modified. Or for full Vashisthasana, keep your right leg lifted and shoot your left foot back. Embrace any wobbles, splats, do-overs. And lift your left hip just a little higher. And then roll over high plank. Child's pose. Just a breath to reset. Coming back forward, high plank. And side plank. Rolling over to the left. Left knee down is still my jam on this side. Good, now stretching and lifting the right leg high to the sky. Biggest wingspan yet. Bend your right knee enough to grab your right kneecap with your right hand and pull it across your body, stepping it forward. Grounded warrior 3, floating your left foot up. Stork pose, swing your left kneecap straight up and through, flexing through both feet, and twist to your left. Hands to prayer, supporting your left knee or otherwise. Untwist fork pose. Revolve side angle, left hand down, left foot back, right arm to the sky. And we look down at our left hand, gripping the floor, finding our way into side plank. Remember, left knee can drop down, and we shoot it back. Or we keep the left foot lifted and the right foot finds the way. Yep, modified, still the way for me. Keep lifting and stretching, breathe in. High plank, roll on over. Child's pose. Melt on down. Listen in for the sound of your breath. And come back to lying down flat on your belly. And place both hands at your low back, one on top of the other, doesn't matter which. Moving with breath, inhale, lift just your heart. Exhale, lift your feet as well. Inhale, lift everything higher. Exhale, lower. Beautiful. Dynamic Shalabhasana. 3 more rounds. Inhale, heart. Exhale, feet. Lift higher. And lower. 2 more on your own. 4 full breaths. And let it all go. We'll find ourselves into Makrasana pose, crocodile. So this is where you get to fiddle around and find your best place. So it may feel good to cross one arm over the other. It may feel good to bring a little block under your forehead or blanket under your chest. But find a way to be on your belly into the floor and have space to breathe. And then we'll do just that. Breathe into our belly. Concentrating our breath in our low, low, low belly. Expanding with the inhale, pressing the belly into the floor. And releasing and creating space between belly and ground on the exhale. And just keep this concentrated breath and belly going. And if you can breathe a little bigger, breathe into your belly, let it build into your rib cage. And if you find this breath challenging, you're not alone. Simply keep your awareness in your belly and know that that's enough. And a few more rounds, breathing as big as you can into your belly. Release your control of your breath, allowing your breath to move just as it needs to. You are observing and witnessing all of this amazing phenomenon of breath. Make your way into or onto your back in a supine position. And permission to take up space wide, rolling your head and neck, wrists and ankles around. And we'll curl everything into a little ball. Just rock side to side, bring the back, settle into the ground. Figure 4, crossing your right ankle over your left thigh. You can stay here, pressing your left hip down and right knee away with the palms of your hands. Or keeping both feet flexed, you can lift your left leg and thread your hands inside or outside your left knee. Both feet are active and you breathe into the backs of your lungs, shoulder blades. And releasing this out, take up space, giant starfish. Wiggling your fingertips and toe tips. And figure 4, left side. Taking your time, noticing if it's safer to keep your right foot down or lift it. Flex through both feet, activating both quads. Breathe. Release this, taking up space. Extend both feet, the length of the mat, drawing your right knee in towards your chest, hands over your kneecap. And you can stay here, or you can start to move your knee softly to the right or left, just feeling into the hip space. You can pull your right knee in towards your armpit and find yourself in a half-happy baby. Flexing your right foot towards the sky, left leg is extended, left hand to hip. Breathe. And taking a twist. Guide your right hand across your body using your left hand. You can always bring the floor closer to you using a prop. And anchor down to your right side as you look right. Breathing big into the right rib. And untwisting, taking up space just as you need to, arms and legs wide. Hug your left knee in towards your chest. Hands can keep it here. Feels good to gently move your left hip side to side, pulling it in circles, maybe closer to your left armpit. Happy baby. Flex your left foot towards the sky, left knee hugs in towards left armpit. Supine twist. Hug your left knee across your chest to the right side of the room, bringing the ground closer to you with anchor down and look left. Breathe. Untwist. Take up space. Come into full happy baby, reaching for knees, ankles, feet. And start rocking side to side, and remembering this is all you had to do in the world is just breathe and be. You're welcome to stay here or find yourself into another inversion. You could be hips on a block, like I'm choosing today, sliding a block under my sacrum and lifting my feet to the sky. You can stay in happy baby, you can lift hands and feet. If you have a wall or couch nearby, you can use that as well. And then you breathe here. And choosing breath and opportunity, possibility during this temporary moment of upside down. Three more breaths here, take them as you need them. Slowly roll out one vertebrae at a time, using what you've got to slow down your descent. And then try letting your knees fall together today, feet walk wide, creating a release for our psoas muscle. Hands can come to heart and belly, or maybe they come by your side or over your head, or hug. And then you breathe. Allow a wave of gratitude to rush through your physical body. Being grateful for your body and its ability to bend and twist and take these shapes. And a moment of gratitude for your breath. The breath that's so freely given. A moment of gratitude for our minds and all their wonderful and terrible thoughts. And from this place of gratitude, take any final shapes or movements, wiggles or jiggles that you need to feel complete. And then settle yourself into a shape of final rest. And that can be on your back like we started, or maybe it feels good to curl into a little ball on your side or turn back onto your belly. And permission to take time and effort to support yourself. And just trusting that in this moment you are enough. Knowing that in this moment you've done more than enough. This deep, deep rest is your birthright. Shavasana. You're welcome to stay here as long as you'd like. As you're ready, start to breathe a little bigger. Dropping your awareness down into your physical self, feeling the heaviness of your bones, the denseness of your muscles, and your weight pressing down into the earth. Feel into the outer edges of your skin, noticing your height and your width and space in which you currently occupy. Breathing bigger, invite movements to your fingertips, toe tips, rotations to your wrists and ankles. As it feels good, stretching and rolling your way up into a seated shape. There's no wrong way to sit up here. Finding yourself in a seat that you can be in comfortably for just a few moments. Hands can come to heart center, maybe down to the thighs, palms up, palms down. And we'll take just a few moments of sitting and noticing. Only moving the muscles required to breathe, simply sitting in observation of whatever is here. Drawing both top palms to touch in the center of your chest, lifting your heart just a little higher. We'll seal this time together with one Om. You can join me, come along, or simply listen. Breathe in. So a moment of gratitude for you, for showing up and doing these practices of asana and breath. A moment of gratitude for the space, the land in which we occupy. And a moment of gratitude for the long, long lineage of teachers spanning back thousands and thousands of years to the subcontinent of India. Thank you all for showing up and sharing in this practice with me and with each other. It's my honor to guide you. Thank you. Thank you, friends. Take good care of yourselves. And see you soon.